Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Parlay here at Awthentik and The Beard, the best television show not on television. It is Beat Dallas. It is Dallas week here in Washington, D.C., but it is also the last week before fantasy football playoffs around the world. So we are here to go through each and every single game to help you guys with your fantasy football lineups, whether season-long, DFS, and all your NFL betting questions. Before we get started, I do want to send our love, thoughts, and prayers to all of those who were affected by the devastating tornado. I know it's multiple states, multiple people, tons of people have been affected by that. So we just wanted to make sure that we are sending our love, thoughts, and prayers to all those who have been affected by this tragedy. Without further ado, I will bring in the left side to my strong side, the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Awthentik.
Yo, what's good, brother?
How are you doing, sir?
A little tired today, man. I went to bed a little bit too late last night. I will say that. Definitely shout out to the people that have been affected by the tornado, and I also want to send a special shout out to the family of Demaryius Thomas, who passed away this past week as well, man. Devastating loss, man, and they're saying that was pretty unexpected. I heard something about seizures and such of that, man. So that's very tough, man. A lot of people were spreading some clips and different stories about Demaryius Thomas going around the league about how much of a really good dude he really was and how he was giving back to the community and things like that, man. So that's very unfortunate to see a legend, a Denver Broncos legend and an NFL legend, be rest in peace one time.
Yeah, I watched the video clip that he made when he initially retired, and it was just, you could just hear it in his voice, the type of guy that he was, and everything that he had been through growing up into, to make it to the league and to be as successful as he was, and all the amazing things that not only just his teammates said about him, but beat reporters and anybody in the league basically had nothing but amazing things to say about that guy. So definitely super unfortunate. So we are sending our thoughts and prayers to his family. I'm excited, man. This could be a big day for both of us. Giants miracle win. Washington wins. That means Dallas loses.
Let's not go big day for both of us. I literally just saw Bleacher Report talking about the Giants could up their draft stock if these teams lose. I'm like, oh, man, we at that point now in the season already. So best of luck to your Washington football team.
You should
the New
tweet
York Giants
Bleacher.
Are looking very out of the mix.
Tweet them and say, hey, we're still in the hunt section of the
They're not
graphic.
the only ones. I'm the one out here on a limb still hoping for some good football, but it seems like most Giants fans have pretty much clocked out, man. I had that tweet that went viral pretty much this whole week with we got to find a way to get out of the Giants' way, man. People really like that one, and seems to be that's the case, man. That we're headed for the draft already early again. And, we're just sitting here in the middle of December, which is wild. We're going to have to watch a lot of teams hit that playoffs unless we can have a miracle victory today against some Chargers.
Yeah. And speaking of playoffs, this is the last week of the fantasy football season-long regular season. So we will be going into the playoffs. So make sure if anybody has any questions related to fantasy football or NFL betting to drop those in the chat, and we will get to as many as we possibly can. I do want to give a big shout-out to the homie Cernock, who is holding down our vintage clothing booth as we speak. So I know he probably won't be able to be in the chat, but definitely wanted to show him some love. And then thank you for holding it down so I can stay here in studio and take care of the parlay with all of my Awthentik and The Beard fam. Let's go ahead and say some quick shout-outs to everybody in the building. Shout out to everybody who's watching us on Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube. We appreciate all the love and the support. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up while you guys are here. Big shout-outs to first person in the building, Taylor. Thank you, J-Mo, for joining us. We appreciate it as always. Edward Squires, my favorite GQ name on YouTube. Good to see you, sir. Marjorie, always holding us down in the chat. Great to see you, Marjorie. Hope all is well.
Sunday to you, too.
Yes, indeed. Who else we got in the building? I know I saw my man Lax 044 in the building early. Appreciate you, sir. Yes, hey, look.
Mike Glennon.
Free Mike Glennon.
Free Mike Glennon, Lax. You know what it is, man.
Big shout out to the homie Lucas checking in from Australia. AATB. Praying the Giants don't stink it up too much.
We shall see. We shall see.
Yes. And big shout out to Waterfly holding us down, throwing them biceps up in the chat. We appreciate it. Perry Mack. I think I saw Perry Mack said he lost power during the storm. So we're sending love your way, Perry Mack. Hopefully everything gets turned around soon for you and your family. Who else we got in the building? Heavyweight champion of the world. What's going on, sir? Great to see you. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate it.
That's how it's going. That's what's up.
Who else we got in the building? Oh, you know Anthony, Bluegrass Picker, going to be here early. Good to see you, sir. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate it. Who else we got in the building? Stephen White is in the building. What's going on, sir? Great to see you.
Sure.
And, at first I thought it said Roadmap Kevin, but it says Road Kevin, the PRM. What's going on, Kevin? Good to see you,
I like
sir.
that subtle switch. That's what's up.
David is in the building. Always a pleasure when David gets a chance to join us in the live chat. We appreciate that, sir. Who else we got in the building? Ash Money here. What's up, Ash Money?
Ash Money in the building. What up, fam?
Kalen Dragon 56. What's going on, sir?
What up, boy? What up?
And big shout out to Go for the $4.99 super chat. Says salute to you, Authentic. Drop by your office to pay our proper respects, and for Giants Nations, we slap all slimy, stinky Eagles fans. Lehu Zahers.
Eagles on that bye this week, man. No slaps this week. You know?
Hey, big shout out to C Bands. Never stay lacking 45.
What up? What up, man?
What's going on, Bands? Good to see you, sir. And there goes Kevin PRF with the $5 super chat. Says, Beard, it's time for a feeling. Big feelings. Rihanna crawling naked into the bed with your feelings.
That's facts, boy.
We go see. We go see. James Jones is in the building. Shout out James Jones. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to get the show started. Don't forget, if you have any questions, we are here to guide you through this Sunday of glorious football that will be upon us very shortly. And that first game on the slate of glorious football is going to be the New Orleans Saints, who are 5-7 and in a must-win situation for their playoff hopes. They are 5-point favorites. They are headed to New York to face the Jets, who are 3-9. The over-under is 42.5. Kickoff is Sunday at 1:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Authentic, tell me what you got.
Oh man, this one kind of broke my heart a little bit here with Elijah Moore on IR this morning or whatever, yesterday. He was coming into this game kind of hot, man. 5 receiving touchdowns this season, all of them in his last 5 games. It was tied for the most in the NFL since Week 9. I'm hoping that Sean Payton can use Taysom Hill a bit like the Eagles use Jalen Hurts. Taysom Hill, tough game last week against the Cowboys, man. The 4 interceptions, 3 of them in the last 7 minutes of the game. That's just can't have that for sure. But I think if they can cater that game plan a little bit more towards him, with Alvin Kamara back in the lineup, I think that could be definitely a bonus for them. This game, now the Jets have been putting up some points lately, and I think this game kind of looks like a trap game. They got the Saints by 5. I think that's pretty right. I'll keep this one short and sweet. I'm gonna take the over in this one, but I think the Saints are gonna win this one. I think the Saints will barely cover that 5.
Look, Zach Wilson played. We talked about this a little bit, obviously, because they played the Eagles last week, and I thought that was Zach Wilson's best performance, or one of his best performances of the season. The Saints are getting Alvin Kamara back, though. That's huge. I'm expecting, and no Mark Ingram today, so I think Alvin Kamara is in store for a big game. Also, no Harris for the Saints because he's serving his first game of his suspension. And little Jordan Humphrey was questionable. I haven't seen an updated status on him. So Taysom Hill and Alvin Kamara are going to be the only two guys. I'm expecting Marquez Callaway to have a big game maybe because he might be the only other target really for Taysom Hill when he does decide to throw the ball. The Jets are 30th in run defense. They're allowing 133.4 yards per game. So I'd expect Taysom Hill and Alvin Kamara to get busy on the ground. The Jets have, like you said, no Elijah Moore, no Corey Davis, no Michael Carter. So they're going to need some people. Tevin Coleman's out. They're going to need some people to step up. Ty Johnson's going to be a guy low-key who might get some fantasy points, whether it's daily fantasy or not. Obviously, the Saints have a really good run defense. Jamison Crowder, I think, is going to be the biggest beneficiary in this game. I think he is looking to have a big game today with all those injuries to the Jets. The Jets have to pass. That's where they're going to get their points from. They are 12th, actually, in the league in passing offense, which I thought was pretty shocking.
I mean, that's because they're always getting their behinds kicked.
Exactly. And New Orleans defense is 22nd in the league. I do like the Saints to win this game with Alvin Kamara back. I think that he is that special where he just can change the game and can win a game for a team. I do think this game will be close, though. I think the Saints are going to cover that 5 points. I am going to take the over 42.5, but I do think the Saints will win outright. Big shout out
same
to
page.
For the $4.99 super chat says, don't really matter who you bring in as GM, head coach, or quarterback, because Moron Mara will have his slimy fingerprints all over everything.
I don't know, though. We're going to see.
Games.
We're going to see, man. I'm looking forward to the new GM. It looks like the Giants are going to keep Joe Judge on staff as far as the head coach goes. I'm a little bit. Yeah, I'd say I'm a little bit 50-50 on that right now. We'll see how it goes for the rest of the season, see if he can prove himself a little bit more. But when these meaningless games start coming around and the Giants start winning, it's not going to surprise me. That's how we do.
Yeah. We also got a super chat from Lax044 for the $4.99 super chat. It says, Kareem Hunt, Hollywood Brown, or Darnell Mooney. I can flex one. I like Hollywood Brown. He's the guy over there, and I'm gonna give you some stats on Hollywood Brown in the Browns Ravens preview. Darnell Mooney, I mean, obviously is the number 1 guy there in Chicago. Justin Fields will be starting again for them, but that's a tough matchup with Green Bay. Kareem Hunt is Kareem Hunt. You know, he's hit or miss, especially since coming back with the injury. And then against the Ravens, so that game might be sloppy, low scoring. So I like Hollywood Brown. I just think he's going to have the most volume of the 3.
Yeah, he's definitely going to get the targets. He's been getting the targets his last couple of weeks, but the yards output hasn't been that high. That's been the problem with Hollywood the last couple of weeks. And the Browns defense, that's going to be tough. That's going to be a tough one.
Yeah, it is. Big shout out to Paulie. I saw you in the building. Hail to the W. Also, big shout out to the homie Kyle Key checking in. Appreciate you, brother.
Key?
All right, next
so
game.
So wait, you said a big game from Jamison Crowder, and there was one more player you said that I kind of questioned. I ain't gonna lie. It was a Jets player.
Marquez Callaway, a Jets player. Ty Johnson.
Ty Johnson. I got faith in Ty Johnson. That's my guy. I'm supposed to be doing some work with him and Juice in the offseason too. There's one more name you said I can't remember, but I was like, Jamison Crowder, big game. That's what we're looking for.
I mean, it's the Jets. What else am I supposed to do? Jamison Crowder. I mean, I like Marquez Callaway on the Saints side. I mean,
I like Callaway on the Saints side, but Saints probably gonna run that ball heavy too. That's why I'm a little bit scared about that.
Yeah, Kamara might go absolutely ham today.
Yeah, or watch. Don't forget, I said that looked like it could be a trap game.
Yeah, for sure. Especially the way that the Jets played last week.
And especially the way the Saints just been playing. They're just not
and Taysom Hill's finger hanging. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
We don't really know how that's going to go.
That game worries me. I will keep it funky with you. That game worries me.
You know what we need? We need to go along with the garbage time and the boat race. We need like a trap game. I don't know, either a mouse trap or a trap house.
Yeah, have you seen the mouse emoji, the joint with the box and the stick and the cheese? I didn't even know that was an emoji till like 4 days ago. I was like, oh, this is crazy.
Oh, man. All right. Next game on the docket, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be 2 teams, once again, fighting to stay alive. The Atlanta Falcons, who are 5-7, are headed down to Carolina, North Cadillac, to face the Panthers, who are 5-7. The Panthers are 2.5-point favorites. The over-under in this game is 41.5. Kickoff is at 1:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The Carolina Panthers are coming off of a bye week in which they fired their offensive coordinator, Joe Brady. Basically, he wanted to pass the ball. Matt Rule wanted to run the ball. It didn't work out. So the guy who's taking over, I believe, is Matt Rule's old offensive coordinator at the University of Baylor. So I'm looking for the Panthers to run the ball today. Looks like it might be a Trouba Hubbard type of day. He had a pretty good game against Atlanta in their first matchup, I believe. And then in general, that first matchup, the Atlanta Falcons ran the ball 47 times for 203 yards. Cordell Patterson is obviously my guy for the Atlanta Falcons. His last 2 games, he has 52 carries for 270 yards. He's averaging 5.19 yards per carry. And then, man, I don't know about Cam Newton. I just don't know. I want him to do good, but can he do good? That's the big question.
Because of that game last week.
Yeah, because that game last week. I expect him to come out and play fairly well because of the bye week. Now, it'll be interesting to see how things go with the matchup as far as the new offensive coordinator and wanting to run the ball, but that might work towards Cam's strength, open up some play action passes to DJ Moore. Kyle Pitts has kind of been just average lately. They just can't get him the rock. Russell Gage might be a guy you can kind of keep your eyes on. I think I'm going to go with the Carolina Panthers. I don't know why. This is going to be the last time I'm going to pick these guys, but I'm going to go Carolina Panthers. I'm going to take them to cover, and I'll take the over 41.5.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, man. I'm definitely taking the Panthers in this game. I think they'll cover. I'll take the over as well in this one. I'd look for Cam Newton, man. A lot of read option with this new coordinator. They like to run the rock already. I'm surprised their other offensive coordinator got fired. DJ Moore has struggled against the Panthers in his career. He's got 7 games against against the Falcons. He's got 7 games against the Falcons in his career, and just 2 of those games he went over 13 fantasy points. So I'd keep your eye on him. I know he's kind of a must start. You talked about Trouba Hubbard, who's definitely going to be playing running back today. And he was second in the NFL in rush attempts. He had 89 rushing attempts, and he had 379 yards, which was 9th during his span where he was the starter with McCaffrey out from weeks 4 to week 8. So Trouba Hubbard's the kind of guy that we know can get it done when McCaffrey's not in the lineup. So I definitely plug him in your lineup if he's out there or if you got him on your team. You talked about the 203 yards last time against the Falcons, last time the Carolina Panthers played them. Yeah, I like the Panthers in this game. The Falcons aren't really a good team. They rely on Cordell Patterson a lot on the offensive side of the ball. Talked about Kyle Pitts. I told you about 3 weeks back that boy is on a slump right now, not looking like that first-round kind of draft pick you want to do with the tight ends. He's actually looking like a first-round tight end draft pick now. And when you look at Kyle Pitts, since October 24th, that was his biggest game of the year against Miami. He had 7 receptions for 163 yards. Outside of that, he hasn't had over 5 catches in over 6 weeks. He's barely eclipsed 60 yards 2 times. So he's in struggle mode right now. He has a 7 game streak of no touchdowns. So he might be a guy you might want to put on the bench.
He only has 1 touchdown on the year.
Yeah, and that one was against the Jets. That's his second biggest game of the year where he had 9 receptions for 119. So he's got some games that just stick out. But I don't know, man. For me, I like to take a player's best game, remove it. I've done this with Daniel Jones a lot this season. Remove the best games, and you can really see what you got in a guy. And Kyle Pitts, I don't know if it's a problem with targets or whatnot, but you got 3 games here under 30 yards, 2 games over 60 yards, and the other 2 were 4 catches for 48 yards, which was last week against the Bucs, 2 catches for 26 against the Jaguars, which that's not a good look against the Jaguars, even though the Jaguars do play pretty decent against tight ends. Kyle Pitts is a guy I'm looking at now going into the playoffs. If you've had him in your lineup and you've managed to make your way to the playoffs with a guy like that in your lineup, you might want to look for somebody else out there, man. He's just not getting the touchdowns, and that's very important at the tight end position is why guys like Dawson Knox are succeeding on a lot of fantasy teams out there. So I'm definitely going to take the Panthers in this game a lot because of that. I mean, Kyle Pitts is struggling. where the Falcons going to get offense from outside of the quarterback and outside of Cordell Patterson, nobody knows. So I'm going to take the Panthers. I think they cover, and I'll take that over.
Big shout out to the homie Nick the Wick for the $4.99 super chat. Says, what's up? Had an awesome time at the Army versus Navy game yesterday. That's crazy. That is like one of the hardest tickets to get games to in like Super Bowl hard.
This NTW we talking about here, bro.
Yeah.
NTW is big time
he's
club.
Aruba. From Aruba to the Army-Navy game, man. You doing it up, Nick the
giving
Wick.
Giants fans injury advice on my man Daniel Jones and being spot on, too. Shout out
and
NTW.
being first team. I mean, look, Nick the Wick, man, superstar in the making. Says,
Facts.
had an awesome time at the Army-Navy game yesterday and was on college game day. Pick 3 of 4. Trouba, Saquon, Sony Michel, Gibson. Whew, that's tough. Listen. Well, we're going to go Trouba. I'm going to go Trouba.
Not that tough.
I'm going to go Sony Michel, and I'm going to go Antonio
Gibson. Yeah,
I want to go
It wasn't tough
Saquon.
at all.
I want to, but
Give me the same lineup you got right there, except I'm swapping out Saquon for Sony Michel. We already know about this Chargers defense. Their run defense is in struggle mode right now. I believe they're averaging or allowing 141 yards per game on the ground. They had a good day last week against Joe Mixon and the Bengals, but yeah, I got to go with my man Saquon today. Might be the last week I could actually say that, so I'm going to go Trouba, Saquon, and Antonio Gibson today.
love it. Big shout out to the homie Bad Dog from Bad Dog Sports for the $4.99 super chat. Says, morning, fellas. Beard, get that dub today. Knock them boys down a peg. Authentic. I talk about the Giants, but I gotta look at the tape. Salute.
Gotta look at the tape right there, Bad Dog. That's real. I don't know how I'm feeling about that Cowboys-Washington matchup. I don't know who I really want to win that game. I'm going to keep it funky with you, man. Washington football team has been on this 4-game tear right now. Cowboys kind of got that 2-game lead on them. I'm kind of like, do I want the Washington football team to kind of fall back into the dumpster with us? Or do I want to see the Cowboys flourish? I mean, those two things aren't that good. I don't know what I want there. Do I want the Washington football team to make a run right now and the Giants play a meaningless game week 18? I don't know. Maybe we could play spoiler. I don't know. We'll see, man. But we appreciate you pulling up, Bad Dog, and we appreciate that super chat, my man.
Facts. All right. Next game on the docket is going to be the Seattle Seahawks. I almost said Supersonics. They are 4-8. They are 8.5-point favorites. They are headed down to H-Town. The Texans are 2-10. The over-under is 40.5 points. Kickoff is at 1:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Shout out Kyle Key. Shout out Cernock. Shout out Kelly the Econ Mom. All our Houston Texan fans and Authentic and the Beard fam. Davis Mills has been named the starter for the rest of the season.
I peeped that. They be doing that man Tyrod dirty.
I mean, look, I listen. I feel so bad for Tyrod Taylor because we love Tyrod Taylor here at Authentic and the Beard, and he just is. He might have the worst luck of any quarterback out there.
Yeah.
I mean, the Texans are so bad. Tyrod's kind of, been struggling since he got back from the injury. I mean, that's fair. And I think, the Texans were honest. They were like, look, we want to see what we have in Davis Mills the rest of this season because it's important for us moving forward to know what we have in this guy. And I think that's kind of dope for a team to actually come out and say that. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times you see it happen, but they kind of backdoor say that that's what's happening. They just straight up said, look, we want to see what Davis Mills has. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is. The Texans are 32nd in the league against the run. Alex Collins probably going to have a good game, I would hope, against a 32nd ranked run defense. Seattle's defense is 6th in scoring. They're only allowing 18.9 points per game. I'm assuming it's going to be difficult for the Texans to put up points no matter who they're playing. So now they're playing Seattle, who's 6th in the league against in scoring in the defense. 8 straight games, the Seahawks have allowed 23 points or less. If you're looking for somebody on the Texans, I've been talking about Brevin Jordan. He's questionable, so I got my eyes on him. I have him in a crazy parlay to score a touchdown, so we'll see if he even plays. But Brandon Cooks has scored 2 touchdowns he scored a touchdown in 2 of his last 3 home games. Searching for Texan stats is very difficult.
You hunting right now. Deep in the crates for that one.
I'm going to go with the Seattle Seahawks to win this game. Is this a trap game maybe for the spread? Do you think?
Man, I think people. The thing about the Seahawks is they might have a bad enough schedule to make a little bit of a run here in the NFC.
All right, I'll take Seattle to cover the 8.5. I'm gonna take the under 40.5.
Yeah,
so
that's a good move right there.
That's where I'm at in this game. Seattle to cover, Seattle to win, and the under on the 40.5.
Yeah, you got to take the under. Texans are scoring a league worst 13.5 points per game. I mean, I thought the Giants were bad. 13.5 points. Come on, bro. A touchdown, 2 field goals, and a quarter of a safety. But both of these teams actually rank in the bottom 3 in the league in time of possession, too. So I don't see the Texans really running the ball, and I don't see the Seahawks really running the ball here. But I do like Tyler Lockett, and I like DK Metcalf. Tyler Lockett has finished each of the past 3 weeks inside the top 30 fantasy finish at the wide receiver position. DK Metcalf, 0 in that stretch, but I'd look for DK Metcalf to finally have a big game today against the Texans. Now I'm definitely taking the under in this one. I'll take the Seahawks to cover. Davis Mills hasn't shown me anything. He was the guy I was using to compare Daniel Jones to earlier on in the year as mediocre, and I would expect to see a lot more of that coming out of the Texans. I don't know what they're going to do, man. They started off with a little win. What was that, week 1, I want to say, against the Jaguars. I thought they was going to be a decent, not a good team, but I thought they would get like 5 wins maybe. It's not looking like that right now. So, but I'm going to definitely go with the Seahawks in this one. I think Russell Wilson and the Seahawks, if they get it together right now and just go on a streak, kind of like Washington just did, maybe they can get themselves back in this hunt. But right now it's looking real slim pickings for them. But I'll pick them in this game against one of the league's worst teams.
Yeah. Big shout out to Nick DeWick for the $4.99 super chat. Says, you guys are awesome. When will I be able to become a member?
Very soon.
Very soon. Look, you see, Authentic and The Beard minds are all on a different wavelength. Like the very soon answer was like the same way.
Yeah.
It just was rolling right off the tongue. Big shout out to Kyle Key for the $5 super chat. Says, just showing love to my favorite channel. We're starting Mills. Don't want to say it, but I'm expecting 2 picks and doubt we will score more than 13, if that.
I feel you, Kyle Key. I'm right there with you with these Giants, man. We cannot score points, and it's just so frustrating, man. So I don't know how or when these teams are going to correct these offensive issues. We'll see, man. We'll see. Guys, just cross your fingers and say a prayer.
Yeah, big shout out to Zachary for the $5 super chat. Says, how do you feel about letting the peacock fly again? I believe the Giants are trying to hide a tank, in my opinion. I'd rather see Jake from State Farm.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you on that. The one thing I can stand on is that when I first started saying free Mike Glennon, I said I wanted to see 2 games when he prepared with the starters. So let's see what happens. Give him his little opportunity here. I think if Daniel Jones is going to be out for the rest of the year, well, we should see Jake Fromm at some point in the season. So, to have him make his debut with the Giants and be a little bit more prepared, I'm not mad at it. This team's really going nowhere fast, so it really doesn't matter.
Yeah. Big shout out to Zachary. Appreciate that, brother. James Jones says, T. Higgins, Tyler Lockett, or Van Jefferson, pick one for the flex.
Ooh, pick one. I like Tyler Lockett. He's going to be the primary target in this game against the Texans. And I'd say Van Jefferson may be a runner-up in that because Van Jefferson, man, he's been balling out. And I love that clip that that we saw the Rams last week where he was talking about the coach instilling confidence in him and all that. Kind of shows you, though, that he's not one of those, like, super alpha personalities. You wouldn't really hear that from a lot of alphas. That it showed he was a little bit timid, but it does show that the Rams are putting that kind of expectation and putting confidence in him. So I like Van Jefferson, but Tyler Lockett, number one.
I kind of like T. Higgins.
He's coming back off something, right? COVID,
yeah,
was it injury?
He's coming back off of something, which kind of like is difficult. Like sometimes I have to switch my mentality from DFS to season long. DFS I like T. Higgins more so because he's probably going to be very low owned, but I think his target share is generally high, and a lot of people kind of forget about that. Like he gets a lot of volume looks. Tyler Lockett, I totally agree with you. I think Tyler Lockett's going to be kind of somebody, but the thing is, he's relying on that big play. But they are playing against the Texans, and I love Van Jefferson. I'm a big Van Jefferson guy, have been. But I think Authentic might be on this one. I think I'm going to go with Tyler Lockett against everything in
coming off
my
a big
blood.
Game, 2 big games, just So he's coming off 9 receptions for 138 yards, and he's coming off of 6 receptions for 114 yards. That was December 5th against the Chargers and November 28th against the Steelers. Had a touchdown in each one of those.
That's tough, man. I kind of like T. Higgins. I wouldn't be mad at Tyler Lockett. T. Higgins, Tyler Lockett. I mean, you can't go wrong really in any of these three, but I would lean Tyler Lockett, T. Higgins out of those. That would be my lean on that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, next game on the docket. It's the AFC.
Oh, in that last game too, David Johnson on the COVID reserve list.
There's been lots of COVID going around in the NFL.
It makes you think what's going on in the world too. How many people you encountering on a daily basis that got COVID, probably shaking your hand, saying what's up. I'm about to go back to them. What's up, bruh?
Man, I never really left.
I definitely left. Not that I make it out a lot, but when I see friends and whatnot, I saw a couple homies last night. I saw Sway and Polo, and I saw the homie Squid. And, it was all daps, all of that. And I'm just thinking, like, man.
It's almost like when you see people that like, no. It's like, they don't got COVID. And then, you go out in public and you're like, mask. You know what I'm saying? Is crazy. But next game on the docket going to be an AFC West matchup. The Las Vegas Raiders, who are 6-6, at the Kansas City Chiefs, who are 8-4. The Chiefs are 9.5-point favorites. The over/under in this game is 47.5. Kickoff is at 1:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Authentic, tell me what you got.
Definitely liking Travis Kelce in this game. He's got 3 straight games against the Raiders with at least 100 receiving yards. He even said, I got my swag back after catching 8 passes for a season-high 119 yards in the November meeting against the Raiders. So I definitely like Travis Kelce in this game. And on the opposite side, I like Hunter Renfro a lot, man. He's put together back-to-back 100 receiving yard games for the second time in his career. He's never put together 3 straight 100-yard games, so I'm looking for him to get 3 in this one. We'll see how that goes. And he will be the only player for the Raiders in the past 20 seasons with 3 straight 100-yard receiving games outside of Darren Waller. That's 20 straight seasons. No one's done that outside of Darren Waller. Derek Carr's been playing some pretty decent football. Has completed over 70% of his passes while throwing multiple touchdowns and scoring over 18 fantasy points in each of his past 3 games versus the Chiefs. I'm going to take the Chiefs to win this game. I'm going to take the over, but I think the Raiders are going to cover. I think this will be maybe a 6 or a 7-point game.
Yeah, I'm right in that facility right now. I do want to give a big shout out to Firefighter1526 checking in from Twitch. Says, new to the channel, McLaurin or Javonte Williams at flex, full PPR. I love Terry McLaurin. Don't get me wrong. but he's very volatile. You just don't know. Like, he could have a game where he gets 8 catches for 115 yards and a touchdown. But he could have a game where he gets 6 meaningful catches for 63 yards, but you don't get points in fantasy for meaningful catches. So I love Javonte Williams. Even if Melvin Gordon plays, they've been splitting carries pretty much the entire season. I'm a big Javonte Williams guy. I'm high on Javonte Williams like how I was high on Jonathan Taylor in his rookie year. So I love Javonte Williams. So in this particular situation, I think I would lean towards Javonte Williams. The only difference would be, because it is PPR, McLaurin could get 5-6 catches. I just have to lean towards Javonte Williams in this matchup.
Yeah, you made a lot of good points there about that. Javonte Williams has definitely been splitting carries. The Broncos are the definition of 1A, 1B. They go with the hot hand for sure. I'm going Terry McLaurin in this one. I think that Terry McLaurin is one of those kind of wide receivers that the bigger the task, the more he shows up. And this is a big game here. This is at home. This is versus Dallas. Even in a loss, I think Terry McLaurin is still going to get his today. So I like Terry McLaurin in this matchup, man. And I think you can't go wrong either way at the flex there. Javonte Williams definitely going to get some carries on the day, but I'm leaning towards Terry McLaurin a little bit. And Tony Pollard out.
Yep.
Just wanted to put that out there as well in the Cowboys Washington game.
Shout out to Ian for sending us that text message in the Authentic and the Beard, Ian Rappaport.
Oh, yeah, and we appreciate you pulling up, Firefighter, man. Welcome to the channel. Yes. Welcome to the fam.
Welcome. So the Raiders, Chiefs. Now, I told everybody that this Chiefs defense was turning the corner in the week when they played the Dallas Cowboys. Since then, they've been on a five-game winning streak, and in that 5-game winning streak, their defense is only allowing 11.2 points per game. Now, Derek Carr, in order for the Raiders to win, Derek Carr has to go over 300 yards passing. They're 6-0 when Derek Carr passes for over 300 yards. Las Vegas Raiders also need to try and convert some third downs, maybe. That might help. I mean, they're 30th in the league at 33.8% third down conversion rate. It's god-awful. I love Hunter Renfro and Foster Moreau. So the Renfro-Moreau duo.
Foster Moreau, wow. He kind of
had a bad game last week
with his opportunity there.
Yeah. I mean, that was a bad game for them, you know.
Yeah.
But I like the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, I think he's going to have a big game today too. Maybe even keep your eye on Josh Jacobs in this matchup. But Clyde Edwards-Helaire, I'm expecting him to have a big game. I'm going to take the Chiefs to win, Raiders to cover, and I'm going to go under the 47.5.
Those 5 games you're talking about with the Chiefs, you know, you're looking at the 2017 victory against the Giants. The game against the Packers was really impressive, even though they only scored 13 points on offense. And then they blew out the Raiders, and then they took care of the Cowboys 19-9, and then the Broncos 22-9. So yeah, they're definitely on a little run here. Their schedule is kind of, you know, flattened out a little bit, man. They started off with that incredibly tough schedule at the beginning of the year, and people were very worried about the Chiefs. But I think they're a team that once you get into the playoffs, you know, treat it just like last year. The Chiefs are about to try to make a run.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this is a must-win game. You know, that division is super tight between Kansas City, Raiders, Broncos, and Chargers. So if Kansas City can win this game, they can really, you know, pull away from at least the Raiders and the Broncos, and then you'll have the Chargers hot on their tail, depending on what
Chargers
happens.
are playing for the lead if the Chiefs lose, I believe, and they're playing against the Giants. So we know how that goes. That could be an easy victory for the Chargers, and this looks like a more tough game for the Chiefs here, so they're going to have to take care of business against the Raiders.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the next game on the docket is going to be the Baltimore Ravens, who are 8-4. They are headed to Cleveland to face the Browns, who are 6-6. The Browns are 2.5-point favorites. The over-under is 43.5 points. Kickoff is at 1:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Authentic, tell me what you got.
I'm going to keep this real simple, man, so we can fly through this game. All right, I like the Ravens because I am a big Ravens fan. I really like Lamar Jackson. He's one of those quarterbacks, like when you talked about Cam Newton, that I really want to see do well. Kind of been on a bit of a slump the last couple of games here. And I think the formula for the Browns is pretty simple here. If the Browns want to win this game, run the rock over 30 times. The Browns are 5-1 when they rush the ball over 30 times. This year, you got a healthy Hunt, healthy Chubb today, so that should be a no-brainer for them to just run the rock. I think this will be a really close game. I think that I'm going to take the Ravens just straight up outright. I'm going to take the over in this one as well. I think it'll be a high-scoring affair, but you never know with these two teams. You can get one like last year where you had that, I believe it was a Sunday night matchup between them. It was right before the Browns faced off against the Giants, and it was a high-scoring game. That was the Dookie game with Lamar Jackson, where he had to go to the bathroom at the halftime. And also, I wanted to bring a little attention to Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett is second in the NFL right now with 14 sacks on the season. I talked about T.J. Watt at 16. He was leading the league. And, you know, they're both pushing for that record from Michael Strahan, which I believe is 22.5. T.J. Watt dealing with an injury now. But this is the most sacks in the season by a Brown since Reggie Camp had 14 in 1984. So I'm looking for Myles Garrett to push that record today, man. Get to the quarterback. We'll see how it goes, man. Y'all know the deal as far as fantasy goes here, man. I'm definitely liking Lamar Jackson in this matchup. Mark Andrews, they've pretty much carried us to the playoffs in that fantasy league. So I'm looking for more of that today, man. I'm trying to go into these playoffs hot, and I wouldn't hurt my pockets right now to get a dub in that league and come away victorious. So we'll see how that goes, but I'm taking the Ravens in this one.
Look, I love Lamar Jackson in this game. I like a Lamar Jackson, Hollywood Brown stack in daily fantasy and bringing it back with Jarvis Landry. Maybe even a little Austin Hooper. The Browns are down all of their tight ends. Austin Hooper is the only active tight end on the roster, I believe, for this game. So he is dirt cheap. I'm looking for a big game from Austin Hooper. The Baltimore Ravens are 4-0 in their last 4 games against the Cleveland Browns. Baltimore is 2-0 this year as an underdog. The Browns defense, though, 4th in the NFL, and Baltimore hasn't scored over 20 points in 5 of their last 6 games. So it's going to be interesting. But Marquise Brown, 5 straight games with at least 5 catches. Jarvis Landry.
Did these 2 teams just play recently?
Yeah, they just played recently in the Baltimore. That was the game where Lamar Jackson threw 4 interceptions and they still won the game.
That's right. And Jarvis Landry had a big game. He had 111 yards in that game.
6 catches, 111 yards in the last meeting, and he has at least 5 catches in 9 straight games against the Baltimore Ravens. So, I mean, I just looking at those players that I named to have a big game. I'm going to go with the Baltimore Ravens to win this game, obviously cover that 2.5 points, and I'm going to go with the over. I think both of these teams got that slop game out couple weeks back, and I think this game will be a little bit more efficient offensively. So I'm going to take the over 43.5 in this.
You know what I would do if I was playing against Lamar Jackson? I would have like the people taking care of the field and whatnot moisten the field up a little bit, put a little water out there, make it a little slippery for him. It'll give us a little bit of an advantage because I feel like that's when Lamar has bad games is when he can't get his footing, can't really get that burst that he needs, and his agility kind of weakens when that happens. But we'll see what happens in this Browns game. Browns are they play on grass, I believe, too. So that should be an interesting one. I'm worried about this game just being one of those kind of games where it's very low scoring again.
Yeah, it's definitely a possibility. Big shout out to Sebastian. Says Jeff Wilson, Kareem Hunt, or Mike Davis as a waiver wire running back because Pollard is out. Jeff Wilson. Yeah,
I like Jeff Wilson. I like Kareem Hunt too. San Francisco 49ers. It can get crowded over there when people are healthy, but We're getting down to the end of the year, but I like Kareem Hunt. I like Kareem Hunt to have some big games down the stretch here.
All right. Next game on the docket is going to be the Jacksonville Jaguars. There's a lot of stories coming out of Jacksonville as of late. The Jaguars are 2-10. They're heading down into Tennessee to face the Titans, who are 8-4. They are 8.5-point favorites. The over-under in this game is 44 points. Tennessee is 3-0 after a bye week under Mike Vrabel. Julio Jones is back in action, so I'm expecting a big game from Julio Jones because they have nobody else. He has to have a big game today. Trap game? Is that your trap game?
I promise. This one is definitely looking like a trap game right now. The Titans, I don't know why people thought the Titans were going to be able to sustain what they were doing on offense without Derrick Henry in the lineup. You saw Adrian Peterson come over there for a quick second. They got rid of him. This game is going to be sloppy. You remember when the Bills played against the Jaguars and we saw that L they took against them, which was crazy. I look for this one to be a lot like that one. The Titans right now are giving up only 98 yards per game on the ground, so it is going to be tough for the Jaguars to run the ball. And the crazy thing is that Robinson was benched last week when he fumbled. He's having a funny season. Everything over there in Jacksonville has been pretty strange this year. Ryan Tannehill has thrown 13 interceptions on the season. That's tied for the second most in the NFL after just the lights-out year last year. But the Jaguars' defense, they only have 5 picks on the season, tied for the league's second fewest right now. So I just look at this game as like, hey, just run the ball 3 times. If it don't work out, punt it. The Titans running back, Dontrell Hilliard, has been having a pretty decent filling in. He was a top 15 running back in both Week 11 and Week 12, scoring the 8th most points at the position over those 2 weeks. And a little betting nugget here. The under is 10-2 in Jacksonville games this season. So you know what? I'm taking the under in an ugly game. I doubt these teams get past 28 points together. We'll see how that goes. But it's screaming trap game. I am going to pick the Jacksonville Jaguars for the upset here against the Titans today, which you know.
Hey, I put my money on Jacksonville. Like literally put my money on Jacksonville to cover the spread, not to necessarily win. But I am going to take the Jacksonville Jaguars to cover that 8.5. I'm also going to take the under 44 in this game. Listen, if I'm Free Laviska. I just want to let everybody know. I hope everybody.
Laviska.
Free Laviska.
It don't even got a good ring to it.
I think Free Laviska sounds better than Free Chenault.
Free
Right?
Chenault. Is he a junior or something, or is he just a straight up?
I think he's a junior.
Yeah, his name he sound like he fighting for the Russian army or something with that.
Hasta Laviska.
Hasta Laviska.
Free Laviska. Anyways, if I had to pick a Tennessee Titans running back, because it looks like they got the full stable over there of backups today. You got Hilliard, you got Jeremy McNichols, but I'm like Deonta Foreman. That's who I like the best.
I don't even like the way you said that.
Deonta Foreman is who I'm going with to shine in the Tennessee Titans backfield today.
This could be one of the clips.
It could be a clip.
This could be a clip.
I mean, there's a whole segment's a clip right now at this point. But yes, give me Jacksonville plus the 8.5 and the under 44. I'm not saying Jacksonville's going to win. I'm not as ballsy as Mr. Authentic.
I am on record.
He is on record.
I did it with the Lions last week. This week is going to be the Jaguars.
Oh, man. All right. One more from our newest member of the Authentic and the Beard fam says Lamar or Rodgers.
Listen, I was just telling the Beard off air about a team I got that is stacked, and they're 2-10 right now. Aaron Rodgers is the quarterback. I'm going off the strength of just that. I think you could flip a coin on this for real because Aaron Rodgers, definitely high caliber quarterback. I like Lamar Jackson in a divisional game where he's got to show out today. I really like Lamar Jackson, the running threat. You never know what you could get as far as rushing touchdowns. And, you got Mark Andrews over there. You got Hollywood Brown. You got some weapons, man. So I think he's going to have a big day. We'll see.
I'm going to go with Lamar Jackson just off the fact that he's going to give you rushing yard points. So I'm going to go Lamar Jackson. But like Authentic said, it's definitely a coin flip scenario situation between two, stud
for what it's worth, Aaron Rodgers in PPR, ESPN is projected for 19 points today. Lamar Jackson is projected for 27. So I don't know what they know, but they normally know a little something. So I think you should go Lamar Jackson on that one. Chicago's defense, they do show up. That's another divisional game, too, though. You never know, man. Aaron Rodgers could go out there and light it up, too, but I like the matchup for Lamar Jackson.
He does own them.
He does own them.
He said, I own you. That's going to be an interesting game later, so we'll see. Next matchup on the docket is the game of the week. The Dallas Cowboys, who are 8-4, have jumped out to a 6.5-point spread. Favorites are headed to Washington. They brought their own benches. The Washington football team is 6-6, so over/under is 48. Kickoff is at 1:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Authentic, tell me what you got.
All right, this is what I got, okay? I'm going Dallas Cowboys, and I'm going Dallas Cowboys to cover. And let me tell you why. You just got to go. You know me, I'm a guy, I need that proof, and the proof is in the pudding. Dak Prescott, listen to this. Dak Prescott is 7-1 as a starter versus Washington football team. 13 touchdown passes, I might be jinxing him right now, to just one interception. I'd look for Dak Prescott to just light it up. I think the Washington football team is going to hang for around the first half. It'll be I see him getting down by about 7 in the first quarter and keeping it a one-score game throughout about the third quarter. And then I think Dak Prescott and the rest of this Cowboys team is just going to turn it up. You got to rely on the run if you're a Washington football team fan here and a coach and on that staff and a player. Antonio Gibson has 109 touches during the team's 4-game winning streak. That's second most attempts by a running back right behind your boy Jonathan Taylor. So they got to continue to keep doing that. I hope they're listening to the Beard on these roadmaps on Thursdays on the best division in football. You got to run that ball over 30 times. We know what it is. 30 to 40, I believe, is what he said this past week. And also, Gibson has had 4 touchdowns and averaged 132 scrimmage yards in 2 games against the Cowboys last season. So he is a Cowboy killer. I still got to go with that Dak Prescott record. 7-1 as a starter versus Washington, 13-1 touchdown to interception ratio. Give me the Cowboys in this game. I think it'll be close. I think it'll be a 7-point game. So I don't got the Washington football team covering just by a hair.
All right. we are hurting. We are thin at linebacker. We are thin on the defensive line, particularly our D ends. So I'm looking for Shaka Tony to come out and Shaka the world today. Hopefully he has a big game and can get to Dak Prescott. Listen, we are undermanned. We are going against a better team here. But the Cowboys are going to be out without Tony Pollard. I still haven't gotten official word on J.D. McKissic, but it's looking like he's going to be out. So, right. I mean, we're really going to need Antonio Gibson. My main thing is I hope the Washington coaching staff does not get away from the game plan that has gotten them here to this point. Okay? Now, it's going to be very important for Washington to stay in this game early. Do not fall behind early. You got to come out and compete early. Hopefully, maybe even a turnover early.
You need a game like the Bucs. Remember when y'all played the Bucs?
Just like we talked about,
two
a game like the
turnovers
Bucs.
early.
Exactly.
That's the way.
So, for those of you that are only Sunday parlay watchers, make sure you tune in every Tuesday and Thursday night at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I gave out a roadmap. I'm going to run the roadmap really fast, okay? 35 to 40 rushes for Washington. Heineke in the offensive line can only allow 0 to 2 sacks. Dominate the time of possession. Get as close as you can to doubling the time of possession. Eliminate CeeDee Lamb under 7 catches, under 70 yards. Win the third down battle defensively. Hold Dak Prescott under 300 yards. Score at least 21 points and hold the Dallas Cowboys to under 80 yards total rushing. The Washington football team will win this game by a final score of 21-7. Hail to the W.
Now, I'm going to have to send an email to the editing department right now because no matter what happens, win or loss, that clip right there, we're putting that on Twitter.
Big shout out to the homie Tuto for the $4.99 super chat. Says, so I might have read this before. If you get a speeding ticket in Philly, they give you 2 Eagles tickets for a warning. But if you get stopped a second time, they will force you to use them.
Shout out to
Tuto!
And then he put parentheses, Tuto. Yeah. I like that. Was good, yo.
Shout out to James Funk, who always holds us down on Facebook during this show. Says, do you like Cooper or Gallup to have a bigger game? I like Gallup to have a bigger game.
Man, we've been a little bit indifferent on these. Cooper didn't have a big game last week. I'm gonna go Cooper, man. This is a big game, big stage. We know that everything is riding on the line here. Division, Washington could get within 1 game here if they win this one. I like Amari Cooper in a big game like that, as long as he doesn't get hurt. That'd be the problem with Amari Cooper.
Hey, got to give a big shout out to the homie Toothpick over our First String Podcast. You guys aren't subscribed to First String Podcast. I suggest you do so. It's just they always keep it real. Like they are real dudes, and I love what you're doing over there.
They had a big guest on there
Toothpick.
last week too.
Brian Mitchell.
Oh, I didn't see the Brian Mitchell. I saw somebody else, I believe. They had Brian Mitchell on there. That's awesome. I got to check that one out.
Big shout out to Toothpick, man. Love what you're doing over there at First String Podcast. And hail to the W. Let's get this win today. Let's go. All right. Enough of my I'm losing a little bit of breath because I was getting a little excited there. We're going to move on to the next game.
That clip, bro. That clip either going to be real gold for the Washington football team fans or it's going to be real bait for the other teams
Fool's
out there.
Gold. All right, next game on the docket. Just looking at this record makes me laugh. The Detroit Lions, and I almost said Tigers when I saw the Broncos colors because they match the Detroit Tigers colors. The Detroit Lions are 1-10-1. That's just
that
insane.
Don't even look right.
They are at Denver. The Broncos are 6-6. They are 11.5-point favorites. The over/under in this game is 42. Kickoff is at 4:05 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Authentic, tell me what you got.
Man, this is a tough one. My gut says, maybe the Lions get back-to-back victories. I don't think so. I'm not going that far. You can put your hands down. I'm not going to lose my mind up here on Authentic and The Beard. 6 opponents have rushed for at least 130 yards and wins over the Detroit Lions. I'd look for the Broncos to continue that success and do that today with running back Javonte Williams. They're slowly but surely showing you in Denver that he could be the guy to take over that 1A running back position. He became the first back in the NFL this season with 100 rushing yards and 75 receiving yards in a game last week. So I'd look for more Javonte Williams. Teddy Bridgewater is on pace to become the first Broncos quarterback. Don't lose your mind when I start saying that, right? When you hear Teddy Bridgewater is on pace to become the first Broncos quarterback, you're like, wait a minute, what? Since Peyton Manning to throw for 20 passing touchdowns in a single season, the Broncos have struggled at quarterback for a long, long time. I think they should consider bringing Teddy Bridgewater back next year. A lot of Giants fans think that Teddy Bridgewater is going to be out there on the market, but I think they should consider bringing him back. I think if they're going to have Pat Shurmur be the offensive coordinator, especially, he runs those flood concepts well. Good play-action quarterback, takes care of the ball. But give me the Broncos in this one. I don't think they're going to cover 11.5. That's crazy. I'll take the over in this one. I think Jared Goff and that Lions offense are going to fight as much as they can, but I got the Broncos in a win here.
I mean, listen, Javonte Williams is the guy. Just remember, from the beginning of the season, I've been telling you guys about Javonte Williams, just like I told everybody about Jonathan Taylor. This guy is the truth. He is the future long-term running back for the Denver Broncos. I expect him to have a big game no matter who's playing for, if Melvin Gordon plays or not. I love everything about Javonte Williams. I think he is super versatile, can catch the ball, can run power, can run outside. He's got speed. He's got a little bit of everything. I love the way that he plays. Now, the Detroit Lions are 8-4 this year against the spread. Which is surprising,
Yeah, because they're probably getting picked double digits every week.
Yeah, exactly. Which we have here today at 11.5 points. Listen, Marjorie just put it up in the chat. Detroit has no players left. They only have 48 players dressing today due to COVID and flu illnesses. I think that we are going to be looking at another low-key stud super backup running back and a gentleman by the name of Jamar Jefferson for the Detroit Lions.
A stud running back, you said, right?
I said a stud backup running back.
Stud backup.
Yeah,
hey,
you know what I'm saying?
A guy
that's only touched the ball he's only touched the ball 10 times, and he has 2 touchdowns on 10 touches. That's a pretty good ratio for a guy that never plays. But this guy has big play capability written all over him. So keep your eyes on him. He might do something crazy today. I don't know if it's going to be a dramatic, monster volume of stats, but he might get you a one big play for a touchdown. You just don't know. Keep your eyes on Jamar Jefferson.
That was another clip for the editing department right there. Good or bad, that one's going to be a good one.
and I'm gonna take the Denver Broncos to win. I will take the Lions to cover the spread, and I'm gonna take the over 42 points. And then also I saw a big shout out to our homie, the Cardinal Rule. He's got a big guest coming up too. You guys haven't checked out their channel. Listen, there's so many good content creators out here that are focused on other teams. Sometimes it's super dope to watch these other channels because it helps you, because they're giving you different insight on fantasy players. You might just, get a little bit of fantasy insight on those players. But when you watch these other channels that focus in on one particular team, it really gives you a lot of different looks at those players that you might not get that sort of exposure to on general shows. So big shout out to the Cardinal Rule. Has been down with us for a long time.
Yeah,
we got a really good project going on over there. So definitely go
and watch teams of other content creators or content creators of other teams. It can also be a double-edged sword too, because sometimes you got those fans or those content creators that are they're ragging on the quarterback. Because I see it with the Eagles, man. Some of these content creators hate Jalen Hurts. And I'm like, I'm a Giants fan. I kind of like him.
We're Jalen Hurts. We are free Jalen Hurts over here.
Oh, that's what's my man, Lord Brunson says, Hurts season. He got them Hurts season hats that was going around.
Oh, my God. Listen, they were talking about that on the Louis T. Round Table. It was hilarious.
Yeah, I've been I've been keeping my eye on what's going on with them. It's kind of been some Jerry Springer kind of vibes going on with them. It's been kind of crazy in Eagles Nation, and they're playing pretty decent football, which is kind of surprising.
It's interesting. All right, the next big game here at Awthentik and The Beard, which is on the docket, is Awthentik's New York Football Giants.
They don't even look right on that powder blue. What is I'm sending an email to the graphics department one time. Come on.
They are headed to Los Angeles to face the Chargers, who are 7-5. The Chargers are 9-point favorites. The over-under is 43.5. Kickoff is at 4:05 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Authentic, tell me what you got.
They're saying we're supposed to have Sterling Shepard back in this game, which would be great for backup quarterback Mike Glennon, have a bit of a security blanket there in the slot. Man, Kadarius Toney this year, there's been such a disappointment, man, being in and out of the lineup. He's dealing with a what kind of injury was it? It was something, a torso kind of injury. I can't remember exactly what it was, man, but he's just dealing with injuries left and right. I hope he doesn't become another player who is injury prone. I guess I like Saquon Barkley in this game. The Chargers defense is allowing 141 rushing yards per game on the ground. They had that big game against Mixon last week. Justin Herbert, I like definitely in this game. If the Giants are going to want to compete, they're going to have to put up some points. That's been the story of the year. Herbert has 58 career passing touchdowns, and he needs 2 on Sunday to join Dan Marino as the only quarterbacks in NFL history with 60 touchdowns over their first 2 seasons. So that boy is on fire right now. Chargers, man, their defense has been up and down this year. So, I mean, I do think that there's a lane here for the Giants to maybe possibly try to steal this game. Saw my boy DeAndre last night, who's a Chargers fan, and I told him, watch out. This looks like it could be a trap game too. Chargers by 9. I ain't even going to go out on a limb here, man. The Giants probably not going to win this game, but it is free Mike Glennon season. Y'all know what it is, so I'm hoping that Mike Glennon could go out here and do something. Just put up some points, man. If we get over 20 points in this game, that'll be amazing. So I'll tell you what, I'm going to take the Chargers in this one, but I'm going to take the Giants to cover the 9. I think the Chargers probably win this game 30, maybe 29-22, something like that. But I'm going to definitely have my eyes glued to the television, seeing what Mike Glennon and the rest of this offense can do, because it might be time for your boy Jake Fromm to get into the game.
Adoree Jackson playing?
I don't think so. It wouldn't matter, bro. Adoree Jackson has not been an asset to this defense like that this year.
Fantasy-wise.
Mike Williams is playing.
Mike Williams is – that's why I was asking, because Adoree Jackson, I would imagine, would be all over Mike Williams in this game if he does play. Mike Williams, I think, is probably – listen, Awthentic's guy at the tight end in this game, Jared Cook. That guy might have a big –
Ingram.
No. Just because I know you always give Jared Cook some love, so you know what I'm saying?
That's because he's been struggling on my fantasy team this year.
Look,
so,
I think this is his game. This is his game. No Keenan Allen. Jared Cook's going to be more of that possession outlet guy for Justin Herbert. Mike Williams, though, is probably going to have a 60-yard touchdown catch in this game. I love Saquon Barkley.
I'm going to disagree with you there because, look, that's the one thing the Giants do well is we don't give up the big play.
I know that, but I just have that feeling. Got a feeling. It might not be like,
can't go against them feelings because them feelings be hitting for sure.
I love Saquon, though, in this game. I don't care what anybody says. I think this is his game. If I'm Saquon Barkley, I'm going to the coach and I'm being like, look, man, I need you to give me the ball in consecutive plays for once.
Yeah.
Let me get some rhythm. I want to show everybody I still got the juice.
Coach is like, well, then stop dancing at the line and go get me more than 1 yard.
And then he says, well, listen, just, tell the hog mollies up front that I need a little bit more hog and a little bit more molly. Okay.
And the coach says, but you're touched by the hand of God, Saquon.
I never said that. The people said that.
Right. They did. Your boy Gettleman set him up for failure.
Next episode on the Awthentik and The Beard coach and player cosplay. So just check us out on Tuesdays and Thursday nights. But listen, the Chargers have a really bad run defense. I think that Saquon has an opportunity here. And speaking of Saquon, big shout out to Johnsy for the $4.99 super chat. Says Saquon needs to have a big game. The Giants want to win. Long neck Glenn is dog water.
You know what I noticed? Shout out to Johnsy one time in the building, and we appreciate your presence and the super chat. But why is it that the Giants fan base is ragging harder on Mike Glennon than they do on Daniel Jones? I don't understand.
Because he's QB1 right now.
I get it, but you remember when Daniel Jones was struggling, it was like, oh, the weapons aren't out on the field. When Mike Glennon out there, they don't give a damn who is their wide receiver. Kadarius Toney could be on IR for the rest of the year. No one will mention it when Mike Glennon is at quarterback. And Kenny Galladay is supposed to play in this game too. I don't know how much that matters, but we did see a little back throw, a back shoulder fade action last week with Mike Glennon, which I'm looking to see a little bit more of that. But I'm curious about that. It's like Mike Glennon go out there and shoot a dud, and it's like Mike Glenn's the worst quarterback on the planet. I know he had the 2 interceptions against Dallas, but let's not forget he was feeding your boy Kadarius Toney for 189 yards. I think it was like 150 of those were from Mike Glennon. But I don't want to rag on the kid too much. You know, he's a backup quarterback. He wasn't prepared for this situation, man. Mike Glennon knows he's supposed to be on that bench with a clipboard in his hand. Now they thrusted him in his long neck out there on the field to try to go make plays. We'll see, man. Hopefully a second week in this offense helps him out a little bit with these ones. But it's like, you know, I talked about getting the snaps with the ones during practice, but a lot of these dudes be banged up. And then your boy Joe Judge got them on a field trip over here to Arizona during the week. Then he get a chance to go home. I don't know what to think about the Giants right now. I really don't, man.
I don't know who is watching in my fantasy league, the Mike Swan League, but somebody is watching us right now. They literally just picked up Jared Cook off the waiver wire.
Yeah, you know, they be sneaky watching. They won't admit it. They be sneaky watching, trying to get the right picks against you and whatnot. That's why I didn't join that league. I was like, I'm not joining that league. They're going to be watching us trying to steal all my little good nuggets and whatnot, and then when I go to look for a player, he ain't there.
I'm tempted. I'm the number one team in that league.
Oh, you better take that down, man. Take that down.
I'm working on it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to stay on the West Coast for the next game on the docket. Is going to be the San Francisco 49ers, who are 6-6. They are 2-point favorites. Well, I guess we're not staying on. They are in Cincinnati, but it's a 4:00 game. That's weird. Okay, so San Francisco 49ers are 6-6. They are 2-point favorites at Cincinnati, who is 7-5. The over/under is 48.5. Kickoff is at 4:25 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Look, we talked about T. Higgins a little bit. He's the guy you got to keep your eye on. Joe Mixon had a bad game last week. I'm looking for a bounce-back game for him. I mean, he is second in yards in the National Football League. He's third in touchdowns in the National Football League. Joe Burrow got a banged-up finger. I expect him to lean heavy on Joe Mixon in this game. The 49ers defense is pretty good, though. 6th in the league. They're 18th against the rush and 4th against the pass. Bosa. Joe Burrow got to keep his eye on that Bosa boy because he's on a tear, and that Bengals offensive line has been in a downfall the last couple of weeks, getting Joe Burrow absolutely demolished. Jeff Wilson Jr. is the guy. I think Jermichael Hasties is probably going to be the only other running back there. Trey Sermon's out in this game. Debo is playing. Debo's playing. So you'll see him get some carries, but I don't know because, you know, they might be a little easy on the quad because he's coming back from a quad injury. But, I mean, no Trey Sermon, no Elijah Mitchell, no who's the other guy they got? There's another one of them that's hurt too. I mean, they're all banged up. Jeff Wilson is going to have a huge game, I think, for the 49ers today. And I love Debo Samuel. You know I've been talking about Debo all season long, and he has come through for us all season long. I still like the Cincinnati Bengals to win this game. I'm going to take the Cincinnati Bengals plus the 2, and I am going to take the over 48.5. I think this game gets a little crazy at the end.
Yeah, you know, with the 49ers, man, it just seems maybe with the Shanahan coaching style that their running backs are always hurt. You know, that it's just a thing. It makes me think of Raheem Mostert. He's always banged up over there. So I'd look for them to go to the passing game, maybe a little bit in this, a little bit more. Kittle has been balling out. He's got 5 receiving touchdowns since week 9. And Joe Mixon, he had a bad real game last week, but as far as fantasy goes, it wasn't that bad of a game. He did manage to get himself in the end zone. He only had about 50-something yards on like 19 carries, but Joe Mixon has scored a touchdown in 9 straight games right now. He's one shy of the Bengals' longest streak by Carl Pickens, which was 10. So I think Joe Mixon will get right back on pace. They have no choice right now with how that offensive line is playing, especially on the right side of that offensive line. Left side has kind of sealed things up. That's my side, the Beard, you know, the left side. They kind of sealed things up, and they've been playing better football on that side of the ball. But Jamar Chase, man, he's been very quiet now for about 4 to 5 weeks. He's got 1 touchdown in the last 4 weeks and hasn't cracked 55 yards one time in those 4 games. So keep your eyes on him. I don't know if you want to keep him in the lineup. If you got some better options at wide receiver like me, I drafted a ton of wide receivers on this losing team. I got 2. I got Waddle. I got Claypool. I got Lockett. I got Diggs. I got all these wide receivers. So it's very hard to figure out who can I put in the game and what certain situation. But I'm not really feeling Jamar Chase in this game. Definitely liking Higgins in this one, but rely on Joe Mixon to get in that end zone. I think Joe Mixon's going to get 2 touchdowns today, but we shall see. I got the Bengals in this one, and give me the under in this one.
Twitter clip on that. Joe Mixon, 2 tutters. I like it. I like it. Big shout out to Jonesy for the $1.99 super chat. Says, whoa, authentic.
Pump the brakes, authentic.
Pump the brakes. Danny Dumpster is not safe here.
That's good to know.
Appreciate
That's good
that,
to know. There's
brother.
no bias, going on here.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the next game on the docket should be one of the biggest games of
this might be game of the week.
Now, this is what some thought could be a Super Bowl preview. It is the Buffalo Bills, who are just can't get it together in multiple games. They're 7-5. They're headed down to Tampa Bay. They're 9-3. They're 3.5-point favorites. The over/under is 52.5. Kickoff is at 4:25 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Listen, Tom Brady might just be the MVP of the league. That dude is just slinging the rock, throwing touchdowns all over the place. Rob Gronkowski has these games where he just scores 2 touchdowns a game. I mean, it's insane. So, I mean, you got to keep your eye on Gronk. I like Mike Evans out of everybody in this game, but you can't forget about Godwin. My man Godwin, the last 6 games, got 48 catches, 540 yards, and 3 touchdowns. So, Mike Evans scores more touchdowns, but Chris Godwin keeps getting the receptions. I always say Curtis Godwin and Chris Samuels. I don't know why I do it, but I do it all the time.
That's a good mix-up.
And look, Leonard Fournette, he's just so involved in this offense. He catches the ball. He runs the ball. When they get in trouble and they need to slow things down and get a rock to, playoff Lenny. And we're getting closer and closer to playoff Lenny. The Buffalo Bills, though, they need to step it up. Their defense has been playing really good. We talked about it earlier. They're only giving up 16.3 points per game. So that defense is going to need to do something. The big problem is they're not going to have White. Tre'Davion White, this is his second game out. That first game, you didn't really get to see what it meant because it was against New England, and New England passed the ball 3 times. So, we'll see what the true effect of that is in the Buffalo secondary in this game. I'm expecting, though, Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs have no choice but to light it up today. So, listen, I want to take Buffalo in this game. I really, really do. But until I see something a little bit more consistent, I'm going to have to go Tampa Bay. I'm going to take Tampa Bay, but I'm going to take Buffalo to score. I think Tampa Bay wins by 3, and I'm going to take the under 52.5.
Yeah, 52.5 is high, man. That's definitely high. Let's not forget the Bills allowed 222 rushing yards to the Patriots on Monday night. They've given up 12 rushing touchdowns this season. And Tampa Bay running back Leonard Fournette, your boy has been balling out right now. He's got 5 touchdowns in his past 2 games, 3 rushing in one game. He had 2 receiving in the others. Definitely like Leonard Fournette in this game. The Bills defense, yeah, they've definitely been balling out. They've only allowed 8 passing touchdowns this season, which is just that's ridiculous right there. They've only allowed 8 passing touchdowns this season and a 57.7 completion percentage to opposing passers. That's the lowest in the league right now. And they've also forced 16 interceptions. That's the 3rd most in the NFL right now. I'm convincing myself. I'm really convincing myself right now. I'm going to go Bills in this one, man. I'm going to go Bills. I think the Bills outright, and I'm going to take, if the Bills win this game, it's got to be the over. Even though that 52.5 is high, I'm taking the over because I got a feeling the Bills are going to win this game. Stephon Diggs, little nugget here. He needs 102 receiving yards to reach 1,000 on the season, which would make him the 2nd player in Bills history with 1,000 in consecutive seasons. You know who the other person was, Mr. Beard? The other person
Andre Rison?
Three
Not
straight.
Andre Rison, Andre Reed?
Not Andre Reed. That's a great guess. It was
Don
Stevie
Beebe?
Johnson. Not Don
Oh,
Beebe.
Stevie Johnson.
Stevie Johnson. And Stevie Johnson is the kind of wide receiver that a lot of people going to forget about, because it was very short-lived. But from 2010 to 2012, he had 3 straight seasons of 1,000 yards. That dude, he was like a baby Steve Smith at the time, man.
Why so
Stephon
serious?
Diggs just needs 102 receiving yards to get to 1,000. He might get there in this game. We'll see. I got him in a couple of lineups, man. And we know that the Bucs, the weakness of that defense is the secondary. Their front is going to be stout again today. I don't think the Bills are going to be able to run the ball out. It's going to take an incredible game from Josh Allen. So I like Josh Allen. I like Stephon Diggs. If you got the option to make that stack, that's going to be a beautiful stack right there, kind of like some Pringles barbecue vibes, maybe sour cream and onion.
Sour cream and onion.
Sour cream. Look, how like you eat stuff sometimes as a kid too much and you play it out? That's sour cream and onion for me. That's Cinnamon Toast Crunch for me in the cereal department too. Like I'll still crush me some Cinnamon Toast Crunch, but I wore it out too much as a kid. My mom wasn't the kind of mom that would go out and get me sweet cereals all the time. So it was like cornflakes, 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 and then every blue moon you got yourself a box of Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
I'll tell you really quick. It's so funny you brought that up because first of all, I haven't had a bowl of cereal in I think 5 or 6 years. Second,
that's crazy.
I was talking to Josie. It was just me and Josie's mom yesterday. Josie's out of town on business, and I was over there building dining room table chairs for her yesterday, and we were talking about the old neighborhood. You know, I was explaining to her about how we all grew up together and everything like that because we were talking about the wedding and everything, and I was talking about how we used to crush cereal out of the big casserole dishes.
Oh, especially me. That was
Berry
me.
Avenue.
Yeah,
Man,
my mom's
Berry
like,
Avenue cereal bowls.
The Pyrex. Legit. I would take like a big Pyrex and fill it up with half a box of cornflakes and just go get the sugar and just go.
Nobody had the monster cereal bowls like Berry Avenue.
Yeah, man. That's facts.
Good old days. Oh, this game's gonna be interesting. Okay, so this is the last game of the 1 o'clocks and 4 o'clocks. It is the Bills and the Bucks. I think this is a good time for us to bring up our DraftKings lineup for today.
Good call. I like that. Let's do that.
So, for those of you that are interested, this is the official Awthentik and The Beard DraftKings lineup for today. We're gonna go with that Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs stack. And we're also going to bring that back with a little double stack on the other side.
I'm looking at the graphic. You know what I'm saying?
We're bringing it back with a little double stack of Leonard Fournette and Mike Evans. And then we're going to throw in Jeff Wilson Jr. at a very low cost to be running the ball, the San Francisco 49ers. And then our random insert of the week is going to be Josh Reynolds. If you guys remember on Thanksgiving, I gave you guys that name, and he scored a touchdown. So he might be a guy to come through for us again. Then we're going down to tight end. I told you guys about Hooper. He is the only tight end for the Cleveland Browns today. So I'm looking at him to have a big game. And then Zach Moss is going to have.
That's the one I didn't like.
That's the one I don't like either. I mean, we might be able to change it, but I don't think there's any other options. We're going to go with Zach Moss. We'll wait till that 4 o'clock game comes around and see if that needs to be changed. And then our defense is going to be the New Orleans Saints against the New York Jets. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the official Awthentik and The Beard Parlay DraftKings lineup for today. All right, ladies and gentlemen, time to move into the night game. Tonight's game is going to be the Chicago Bears, who are 4-8. They are headed to Green Bay Lambeau Field. The Packers are 9-3. They are a whopping 11.5 point
favorites. Love that whopping. Don't nobody say that whopping like you say that whopping.
The over-under is 43. Kickoff is at 8:20 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Awthentik, tell me what you got.
Okay, so Packers receiver Devontae Adams is 2 receiving touchdowns, shy of tying Jordy Nelson for the second most in franchise history at 69. So there's going to be a little bit of urgency there from your boy Aaron Rodgers. Headed to your boy Devontae Adams. Hopefully he can find his way in the end zone today. That'd be awesome. I also like David Montgomery in this game. He scored over 25 fantasy points in consecutive games against the Packers, catching 14 of 15 targets in those games and averaging 5.2 yards per carry. Definitely like him in this game. The Bears are sketchy because it's like Andy Dalton is dealing with an injury to his hand right now, but to me, he seems to make sense as the starting quarterback. But the Bears are very like, I don't know, we kind of want to play this rookie. I don't know, I'd look for the Packers to blow them out in this game. 11.5 is a lot, though. 11.5 is a lot.
Especially in a divisional game.
You see, I was saying some stuff early that's going to contradict my pick here a little bit, but I got to go with what I'm saying here, okay? So Packers are going to take care of the Bears in this game. This is going to be one of those games where you see your boy Aaron Rodgers on the sidelines. Fourth quarter, you might even see Jordan Love get in the game. High fives, a lot of smiles. Big toe in action, healthy today on the field. I got to take the Packers to cover that 11.5, and I'm going to take the over.
I mean, listen, Justin Fields is back. I love Darnell Mooney. That's about it for the Bears. You're gonna have all the other your normal studs for Green Bay.
What's
Dylan,
up with Allen Robinson, bro? What
injury?
What
and just
happened?
I mean, I told you.
cliff? You told me he was going to fall off a cliff?
I told everybody. I said Darnell Mooney is the number one in Chicago.
That doesn't mean that Robinson's going to fall off a cliff, man. He's been horrible.
Well, yeah. I mean, he's been banged up, and that team in general has just been pretty bad, which is kind of crazy. Apparently, they were chanting "Fire Nagy" at a professional wrestling arena match.
God.
So it's not looking good, even though he has a winning record as a head coach. But it's just not there. So listen, the Packers are going to win this game. The Packers are going to cover the 11.5, and we're going to go over 43. That's there's nothing else really to say.
I like it. Right. There's not much in this game. I had 2 bulletins for this game. That was that.
I had 3.
Got a grand total of 5 bulletins for you for the Bears at Packers. Packers favored by 11.5. All right.
Oh, man. Hey, Joe Deals, we love you, brother. I know you're a Chicago Bears guy. He said, Aaron Rodgers don't own me.
Didn't Robinson get paid too in this offseason? Didn't he get a little bit of money?
He got the bag and a half.
The free agency market for wide receiver entering 2021 has been struggling bad because it was Robinson and it was Galladay, man. And Galladay, he getting paid a major bag. I think Galladay will get it together once the quarterback situation is solved in New York, but that might not get solved while he's there. We'll see. We got Joe Judge looking like being the coach next year. I think that means Daniel Jones will be the quarterback next year.
I think that means Joe Judge will get fired.
You said gone or won't?
He will get fired.
In mid-season next year?
No, he'll get fired before next season.
Oh, okay. So you don't think Joe Judge will be back in the New York Giants locker room?
Nope. It's over.
Editing department. We got 3 we're gonna need on this episode here. That one right there. They came out recently and said it's looking like he's gonna be the coach next year.
That's why I think he's gonna get fired.
Because of the reports.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll see how that goes, man. I'm hoping that you are right.
All right. One of the last big games of the week. Big shout out to the Cardinal Rule. It's the Los Angeles Rams who are 8-4. They are headed to the NFL best Arizona Cardinals, who are 10-2 and can clinch, I believe, a playoff spot with a victory in this game. Cardinals are 2-point favorites. So over-under is 51.5. Kickoff is Monday night at 8:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If the Rams want to win this game, they cannot turn the ball over. Everybody talks about the Arizona Cardinals offense. Their defense, to me, has been one of the biggest surprises of the year. They are plus 12 in a turnover ratio in this season. So I think that's just a huge part of their success. Sony Michel, last week, who we gave you guys as a play with Darrell Henderson out. Darrell Henderson will be out again this week. He ran for over 100 yards, the first 100-yard rusher for the Los Angeles Rams all season.
That was against the Jaguars.
Yeah, it was.
Good blowout game, though.
The Rams defense is good. Yeah, the Rams defense is going to have to be better in this game because they just were not good at all in their first meeting with the Arizona Cardinals. And I got my eye on Chase Edmonds. He's supposed to come back. They said he was back. Now he's a game-time decision. I know I scooped him up in one team for myself, and I scooped him up for the Awthentik and The Beard season-long fantasy team. So everybody's got their eyes on Chase Edmonds. If he can play this week, it'd be great. But if not, I'm glad that we were able to pick him up going into the playoffs off the waiver wire, especially with DeAndre Swift injury up in the air. It's hard for me to pick against both of these teams. I like both of these teams. I'm going to take the Arizona Cardinals against my better judgment because I think the Rams need this game more. There's something about the way the Cardinals are playing this year that just is super scary, and they look really, really good. I'm going to take the Cardinals in a close one. I'm going to take the Cardinals to win by 1 point. So I'm going to take the Rams to cover -2. If you're betting in real life, don't ever do that. But I am going to take the Cardinals to cover. The Rams to cover the -2, and I'm going to take the over 51.5.
Yeah, I'm going to go just over that 51.5. I think this is going to be a 28-24 victory for the Los Angeles Rams. Very good quarterback play within this game. Stafford ranks 3rd in quarterback rate or in QBR on the season. Kyler Murray ranks 4th in QBR. Let me go holla at the graphics department one time real quick.
Here it comes.
There it comes. I think this one is going to be a boat race between two fantastic quarterbacks who also have the weapons necessary to put up touchdowns. And I want to talk about my guy OBJ one time, man. It is fantastic to see OBJ getting back into the end zone, man. So OBJ has a touchdown in each of his last 2 games. He's only dressed for 3 games for the Rams here, and he has touchdowns in the last 2. The first game he dressed, he only was on the field for 12 snaps. That's the first time since 2019 that OBJ has had back-to-back games with a touchdown. Now, he hasn't had 3 straight games with a receiving touchdown since he was a New York Giant in 2015. I'm looking for that streak to come to an end here today, and we'll start a new streak with the Rams here. I think he's going to get his 3rd straight game with a touchdown today. I also like Van Jefferson in this game. I think he might get into the end zone as well. Both of them got into the end zone last week. Matthew Stafford and Odell Beckham seem to be getting on the same page. Like what I'm seeing out of Matthew Stafford. The Rams, for me, have been the model of how to build a team outside of the draft. Trading away them first-round picks. Talked about that on Thursday a lot. The Giants should be taking notes. You don't necessarily got to build your team directly through the draft. You have a ton of draft capital. The Rams have showed you that you can take a first-round pick and a player and trade it for multiple picks in the middle rounds to be able to build your team through the draft in the middle rounds, but also trading for players that are proven players like Jalen Ramsey when they traded for Brandon Cooks. They brought in Odell Beckham. I'm looking for Von Miller to have a revival of his career over here in Los Angeles, man. So for me, I'm picking the Rams in this game. I wanted to say 28-24, but I'm going to go a little bit higher. I'm going to go 33-28 Rams in a victory here.
It's going to be a really awesome game. I'm definitely super excited to watch that game for sure. It's going to be a wild day of football all the way around. I am excited. Are you excited, Mr. Awthentik?
Yeah, I'm not excited for my team so much per se, but I'm excited for this this slate of games coming up here. Monday night, I'm looking forward to that game with the Rams and the Cardinals. I think that's going to be an amazing one. Sunday night, Packers Bears, not so much, but got to keep your eyes on the Bears if you're a New York Giants fan for sure. We got their draft pick, and right now they're both looking like 2 top 10 picks guaranteed pretty much, and possibly might be able to get 1, squeeze 2 in the top 5. I'm not rooting for the Giants to lose, though. I want to see Mike Glennon come out here today and shock the New York Giants community a little bit. You had a terrible game last week, a pretty bad game last week, I'll say. He's dealing with the concussion. He cleared protocol. I want to see him kind of light it up. I just want to see this offense get clicking before the year's end. Can we get a game where we score over 20 points? And then keeping my eyes on Washington and the Cowboys game, that's going to be amazing. Eagles are on a bye this week as far as NFC East goes, so they're just chilling for them. They're going to get somebody losing the game here. I'm sure they're rooting for a Cowboys loss so they can try to tackle that number 1 spot in the NFC East. It's a jam-packed week, man. There's a lot of great games out there. Browns-Ravens is going to be another one. We kicked off the week here with the Steelers at Vikings, which that was a really good game, man. I think people are going a little bit too crazy on Chase Claypool for that end of the game. That wasn't that bad. They're putting them side by side with Larry Fitzgerald and making memes out of it and all this stuff. I mean, we know what kind of player Larry Fitzgerald is. Chase Claypool is still very young in this league, but it was good to see the Pittsburgh Steelers get back in that game late, man. And I just had a feeling that maybe Kirk Cousins and the Vikings were going to, not show up again on primetime and choke late in that game, but they took care of a business and went on to get that victory by 6 points. So this has already been a great week already with that Thursday night. Thursday night football has proven everybody wrong this year. They've had some really good games on Thursday night.
Yeah, because that was like the thing where everybody was like, "Oh, Thursday night football games stink." It's been every primetime game in general. I feel like a good 90% of primetime games this year have been absolutely phenomenal games. So definitely super fortunate. And Joe Deals has a authentic only fantasy question advice because he is facing me today. He says, "Authentic, James Robinson or Dontrell Hilliard against the Beard today?"
Okay, so Jaguars are going up against the Titans. Titans going up against the Jaguars. So I picked the Jaguars in the upset. I did. I think the Titans running back will have a little bit better of success here. So I'd go Dontrell Hilliard. He's been top 15 running back in both weeks 11 and week 12, and he scored the 8th most points at the running back position in fantasy. So maybe that continues. We'll see. The Beard has who was the other homie you said you like out of the backfield for the Titans?
Oh, Deonta Foreman.
Deonta Foreman. So that will be the only way maybe the Beard knocks me and you both out with that one pick right there. We'll see, but I like Dontrell Hilliard in this game.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this has been an amazing episode of the Parlay, full of potential Twitter clips, according to Awthentik himself.
Oh, yeah, the editing partner already got the email.
Including another world-class upset pick by Awthentik himself.
I'm feeling sketchy about it already.
Shout out to everybody who came through and watched us on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube. Shout out to the new viewers that we picked up today on Twitch. Hopefully we helped you out on those questions, and welcome to Awthentik and The Beard fam. I'm getting ready to get in the car and get on the Nick the Wicks, $1.99 super chat. Landry or OBJ? I love OBJ, but I'm going Jarvis Landry. Jarvis Landry crushes against the Ravens, so that's where I'm going. And
OBJ.
OBJ. I am actually getting ready to get in the car right now and drive to Chantilly, Virginia. I will be at the Dulles Expo Center until 8 o'clock tonight selling vintage clothing, sweatshirts, jackets, hats. I'm going to be on the lookout for some New York Giants stuff for the homie Awthentik. So if you guys are around that area, the DMV, and you guys want to come check out me and the homie Cernock, we will be set up until 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time at the Dulles Expo Center. Last one from Firefighter on Twitch says, dang, forgot my second league. McLaurin, Evans, Chase. Need to start 2 at wide receiver.
Evans.
I'm going to go Evans and Chase.
He's not high on his boy Terry McLaurin. I'm telling you, that boy plays big in big moments.
He does,
Cowboys
and I think he's going to have a big game,
moment.
but fantasy's different than real game.
1 touchdown in the past 4 weeks. I don't know if you want to rely on that.
All right, listen, you're right. Let's go McLaurin and Evans. McLaurin and Evans. We'll combine for one thing. So I will be at Chantilly. Who asked about that? Independent Outsider? Yes, Chantilly, the Dulles Expo Center. We'll be there, so come check us out. Last time I listened to the Dallas Cowboys Washington football team game on the radio / cell phone was, I think, 3 years ago when Josie and I were on our way back from Michigan, and I almost crashed because we won. It was either we won on the last second field goal or Dallas missed the last second field goal. I think it was Dallas missed the last second field goal. This was like 3 years ago. And Josie was holding the phone and I was driving. It was crazy. So hopefully we get some of that same mojo and luck today. But definitely thank you to everybody who tuned in, man. This was a lot of fun today, and
sure.
I love everything about this show, everything about this channel, everything about everybody in the chat. Don't forget,
y'all know what it is.
Awthentik will be live, most likely, as always.
Oh, I'll be live on Monday, for sure.
Giant overreaction, which has been an absolute smashing success this season. So shout out to all the Giants fans. Shout out to Awthentik. That show is absolutely phenomenal. It starts out as this is going to be a short one, and then it turns into
2.5 hours.
a 2-hour Academy Award winning show. So shout out to Awthentik and the Giant Overreaction. And then every Tuesday and Thursday night at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And you guys already know what time it is. Throw them biceps in the chat. And I'm going to let Awthentik take us away.
Hey, I think you said everything that needs to be said, man. Good luck at the Expo today, man. Try to find me some Giant stuff. I hope you can find yourself some nice Washington football or some Redskins pieces. Appreciate everybody in the building today, man. Y'all know what it is early on your Sunday morning. Definitely enjoy your football. There's going to be some solid games. Let's get some biceps in the chat before we get up out of here for the left side.
Strong side.
So look, that bicep right there, that's a right-handed bicep on the emoji. I need them to flip that because I need some biceps on my side too, man. Hey, Big Ben, if you want to hop on some Apex Legends here in a couple minutes here, I am definitely down. And I saw you ask about Melvin Gordon. I do think he is going to be playing today. Man, we really appreciate everybody pulling up, man, week in and week out for Awthentik and The Beard. Y'all know what it is, man. We're going to continue to try to give y'all the highest level of content we possibly can with a fun time sprinkled in there on the side because it can't be too serious. We don't want you to be pulling up for some boring stat nuggets. We want you to be pulling up for a good 10-piece barbecue sauce napkins in the bag, extra straws. Y'all know what it is, man. We appreciate y'all pulling up. Maria, I see you in the building. Good to see you here, love. Y'all be good, man. Enjoy y'all Sundays. Raise that bar. Raise that bar. New York Giants, raise that bar. And Giants fans, keep living those dreams, man. Y'all know what it is. We will see y'all on Monday for the Giant Overreaction and Tuesday for the NFC East recaps. Y'all be good, man. Peace out, y'all.
Peace.